We are kicking off a brand new video series, and I'm going to teach you how to build a WordPress website from scratch using Kadence, and we're going to do it workshop style. If we haven't met, hi, I'm Katie Boykin. I'm the marketing manager at Kadence, and I'm also a longtime user and customer. I've got some good design experience for the last 3 years. I've had my own company, and I have built custom client projects, child themes, and design libraries, all with the Kadence toolset. So I'm excited to share that experience with you, and I figured it would be a pretty cool video series idea if we were to take an imaginary company and said, here are the details of what we need to bring to life, and what do we need to do to not just build a basic website, but build a more feature-rich website without touching a single line of code. So that's what we're going to do in this video series together. In this video, we're going to look at the imaginary company that we're going to be building together, and we'll talk through project scope, what features we need, who the target audience is, things like that. And then we are actually going to dive in this video to our WordPress dashboard and get a rough draft online. We're going to use the Kadence AI Starter Templates plugin in order for us to get that rough draft going so that we don't have to stare at a blank screen and figure out, well, what are we going to build on this website? So we're going to accomplish all of that by the end of this video. And then in future videos, we're going to add on more advanced features. Like I know pretty soon we're going to showcase what you can do with a custom post type, with Kadence element hooks, the query loop builder. And we're also going to, in future videos, showcase what you can do to add on additional third-party plugins, like things for event functionality or adding donation forms into your site as well. So this is going to be a really fun series. If you are pumped up about it, hit that like button and make sure to hit subscribe so that you can follow along in every video that we release in this series. Okay, so let's get into the actual project we're going to be working on together. We're going to be building an animal shelter website for a local 501c3 nonprofit, and we're going to name this the Happy Tails Shelter. So let me read you the project brief. The Happy Tails Shelter is dedicated to rescuing and rehoming pets in need, and we aim to create a welcoming, informative, and engaging website that will help potential adopters, volunteers, and donors connect with our mission. And the website should be user-friendly, visually appealing, and optimized for conversions. So if you notice my little fingers popping up there, when I talked about adopters, volunteers, and donors, those are our target audience members. We also want to attract people from the general public as well, but for the most part, for people who are going to help us move the needle in this animal shelter, those 3 people or groups of people are the target audience. So let's think through project goals. I have 5 project goals outlined for this website. And as we go through each project goal, I also want to talk through the key features and functionality that we'll need to build out on the website in order to accomplish that goal. So we're going to kind of do that together. So the first project goal is to increase the number of pet adoptions. So I imagine we're going to need to create some sort of pet finding capability. We need to have listings of each pet that's available for adoption, including details about this particular animal. And we will also need a way to filter out specific criteria in the archive when we're trying to search. So this pet finder feature, I think, is going to be essential to us creating or moving the needle on this project goal of increasing the pet adoptions. The second project goal that we're going to be doing is we need to attract and inform potential volunteers and foster families. So I think having a page that is dedicated to volunteers and sharing how people can get involved is really key. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but obviously we're going to be doing the basic pages as well, a home page, an about page, contact, etc. So by having this additional goal, we'll be adding in a few additional pages to the website build also. We could put all of the volunteer details on one page, or we could potentially split it off into 2 pages depending on how much content we would have for a volunteer section as well as a foster section. The foster section might have a lot of FAQs and details that need to be shared, so this kind of makes sense to have those as 2 separate pages, but we can get into that a little bit later. Then for our project goal number 3, we need to drive donations to support the shelter's operations. So we are going to need an additional page for donations, and we will most likely need some way to actually accept payment on the site too. So we will probably build a third-party plugin in order to facilitate that capability for us. So I am going to make a mental note of that we need some sort of donation capability. The 4th goal is to provide educational resources on pet care. So one of the things I'm thinking is we could do a free course about basic pet care that comes for free with every pet adoption. So in order to facilitate something like that, we would need some sort of learning management system, like a course plugin. So that's something we could explore. And then if people want to upgrade to maybe a pet training course, maybe teaching your dog behavioral skills, things like that, that could be a premium course that could be upsold later, especially once people are taking their free pet care training class. So that's another thing that we could do as well. So I'm going to put down that we need to reference maybe a course plugin in here also. And then our fifth and final goal for this particular job, we want to enhance community engagement and awareness. So when it comes to community, there's obviously the general public. So we could do this in the form of sharing blog posts on our website, which will definitely have that feature and functionality built out. And then we also have events that are going to be happening around the community and within the shelter. So I know, for instance, there's a lot of events at local pet stores so that the fosters can come in and showcase the animals, and the community could also try to connect with a pet and take it home. So those types of events are something that we want to display on the site as well. And so we're going to need some sort of event functionality. The other thing about the community too that I could add is that we probably need some sort of like newsletter capability to share when events are happening, as well as when new animals are available for adoption, things like that, just to stay connected with our audience. So those are kind of our overall goals for what I envision this project will kind of morph into. And I think that's good enough to kind of get the ball rolling. So we're going to jump into our computer screen here, and we're going to dive into WordPress. One thing I want you to know is you do need a self-hosted WordPress installation in order to move forward. So you will need to have your own hosting company selected and ready to go, and then accessing WordPress through that. And I'm going to assume you already have that. So let's just go ahead and dive in to our WordPress dashboard and get a rough draft going. Okay, so I have a brand new WordPress installation on my screen here. I don't have anything added to it. No fancy plugins, no fancy themes. It's just what came with the WordPress install. So the first thing we need to do is get the Kadence theme installed. So we're going to navigate over to Appearance, and we're going to click on Themes. At the top, there is an Add New Theme button. We're going to select that. And in the Search Themes box, I'm going to type in Kadence, and it's spelled Kadence. And then the first result that shows up should be the one, but just to be sure, it's the one that has the blue color, the woman in a hat on a beach, and it says Your Website, Your Way. That is the thumbnail you want to click on. Actually, don't click on it. We are going to just click on this Install button that's right next to the thumbnail, and that's going to do its little thing. And then we also need to activate this. So we're going to click on the Activate button as well, and voila, the Kadence theme is installed. Now I'm going to go ahead and showcase what this looks like in a new screen. It's pretty basic. So sometimes if you're getting to a point where you're like, okay, either you're tasked to build your own company website or you're working with a client project, staring at this blank screen and trying to think through the vision that we want to bring to life can feel really overwhelming at this stage. So that's the reason why I'm going to hop back over to this other page. I want us to install this AI Starter Templates plugin. So I'm going to click on this blue button, and it's going to do its thing to install it, and it's activating it all in one fell swoop as well. So it will redirect you over to this little landing page here, and it says Generate a Starter Template with AI. Now it wants us to activate the Kadence AI Starter Templates, and the reason we have to click this button and then log in or create an account on the next screen is because AI uses a crediting system. So you can either create a brand new account if you don't already have one, or log in if you do have an account, and it's going to allow us to then click on this Continue Free button once you have your account all set up. So one other thing to note here as well before we move forward with free is that the free version comes with 250 AI credits, whereas if you want to upgrade to one of the Kadence bundles, it starts at 4,000 AI credits and up. So if you have a pro account, you also have that additional perk. But if you're not ready to invest yet, totally cool. Let's get started with the free version just to show you how capable the AI tool is. So we're going to click on Continue Free, and that's going to pull up the actual starter template creation wizard for AI. So in this screen, you can see that we're going to go through about 6 steps. We're going to review this how it works page. Then we're going to go into sharing industry information, details about our site, more details about our site, setting site goals, and then our photography settings are going to come at the end of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this next button, and we're going to workshop style this together. So for our site's language, I am in the US and I'm English, so I'm gonna leave it here, but I just wanna show you that you can select from a number of different languages. So go ahead and select your site language. Then you need to choose your information. So are you an individual, a company, or a organization? I'm gonna choose a company here, and then I'm gonna type in, we are the Happy Tails Shelter, and I like to use Happy Tails with no space. And then we can choose that we are based with an actual business address here. And I'm going to paste our imaginary location. I have it set up in Missoula, Montana, because that is where Kadence originated from. So, little fun fact for you. And then for the industry, you can just start typing in a keyword. So I'm gonna start typing in pet, and we can choose from online pet store, pet clothing, pet lovers. Let's type in adoption and see if that helps. Okay, so pet adoption service is what I'm going to do. I also want to see if they have pet shelter. They don't. Animal shelter. Ooh, animal adoption organization. I think I'm going to choose that one instead. So we've got our industry that we're in. And then once we're done with this page, we're going to go ahead and move on to step number 3. So I'm going to click the next button. And then this is where you're going to give the AI prompting tool little details about your business. So it says, craft a brief description that explains who you are, your primary attributes, and highlight what differentiates you. And if you're staring at the screen, you're like, wait, what do you want me to write here? The screen on the right-hand side kind of shows you real-life examples. But if you click on this little show tips option, it kind of gives you prompts that you can go through and follow. So that might be something that you want to actually go through as well. I have pre-crafted a little paragraph already about our organization. So I'm gonna just go ahead and paste that here. Now, as I'm pasting it, you're gonna see, okay, you've added some information. Try removing some for better results. So I added 1,300 words, and this is too long. So let's go through this together and we'll see what we can trim. But also, let me just show you one other thing. If I cut this, you're gonna see for better, more accurate copy, enter a bit more content. So if you can continue to add content, let's just say I pull a little bit of this out, it's going to eventually give you that green light that's like, excellent work, you've added enough information. So I would say anywhere between 700 to 1,000 words is probably the best thing. But let's paste all of this and then let's kind of cut down what's maybe unnecessary. So established in 2010, Happy Shelters is dedicated to rescuing, rehabilitating, and rehoming abandoned and neglected animals in our community. Located in Missoula, Montana, we provide a safe haven for dogs, cats, and small animals. Let's just do dogs and cats for this in particular until they find their forever families. At Happy Tails Shelter, I'm gonna remove that because we need to cut content. So we believe that every animal deserves a second chance. Okay. I will tell you, the content that you're putting in here sometimes will show up in the actual AI headlines and paragraph text in the future steps. So if you know, if there are key beliefs or key phrases, this is also a really handy thing to include here because those could be used as headlines in the future. Okay, it says, our passionate teams of veterinarians, animal behaviorists, and volunteers work tirelessly to ensure the well-being of every pet in our care. We provide comprehensive medical care, behavioral training, and socialization to prepare our animals for adoption. Our mission extends beyond just rescuing animals. We are committed to educating the public about responsible pet ownership and the importance of spaying and neutering. That's all true. And then through our community outreach program, school visits, and pet care workshops, we strive to make a positive impact on the lives of both animals and people. One thing I also want to note here, as I have this piece of text highlighted, it's talking about how we have community outreach programs, school visits, and pet care workshops. When you are prompting AI here as well, you need to also include details about your services so that the AI tool kind of knows how to group content and think about the copy. So I highly recommend including details about the types of services that you offer here. And then it says Happy Tails Shelter is funded entirely by donations and fundraising events. We are grateful for the support of our community. I'm gonna delete that since we have too much content. And says, whether you are looking to adopt a new furry friend, volunteer your time, or make it a donation, we welcome you to join the Happy Tails family. and help us create a world where every animal is cherished and loved. And I'm going to delete this visit us, and that should get us to that green light mark. So just provide some details about your organization. Let's go through these like little thought starters when I clicked on this little show tips option, just to make sure that we have covered all of our bases. So it says, what are your core offering or your business purpose? We totally covered that. What products and services do you offer? We also covered that too. Describe your team or brand story. It's kind of vague, so I think we've done a good job already. Highlight relevant numbers or statistics. So we could include like we've helped over X number of pets find new homes, but because I'm already kind of at my limit, I'm gonna just go ahead and leave it alone. And it says, what makes you stand out in your industry? List any notable partnerships, and what's the action you want your visitors to take? Let's make sure, let me reread this one more time. I want to actually remove all these details about our passionate team. I'm going to delete works tirelessly. And then I'm going to also include so the final call to action that I want to include, I'm just going to say adopt a pet today or get involved, because I think those are going to be our two primary calls to action. And if we do a get involved page, actually, so originally I was thinking through like we would have a volunteer page, we would have a foster page, we would have a donate page, which those may all be true, but we might also want to include a get involved page, which is kind of like a summary of those 3 ways someone can get involved, or maybe even 4. This is, if we were to do like a get involved page, that could be like a services overview page in a way, in which case you're talking about the 4 ways that someone could get involved: adopting a pet, volunteering, fostering, donating, community event. Like it can kind of like be a jumping off point. So that's a page we might want to consider adding in the future. Okay, so this is good for me. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this just so that I have it handy, but you can also click this improve with AI option, and it's going to kind of rework it. So you can go through and read this. So it says, established in 2010, Happy Tail Shelter is located in Missoula, Montana, is committed to rescuing, rehabilitating, and finding homes for abandoned or neglected animals within the community. Our dedicated team works tirelessly to ensure the well-being of every pet in our care, providing them with medical attention, training, and preparation for adoption. We not only focus on rescuing animals, but we also strive to educate the public on responsible pet ownership and the importance of spaying and neutering. Our outreach programs, school visits, and workshops aim to make a positive impact on both animals and people. Happy Tail Shelter relies on donations and fundraising events for financial support. Whether you want to adopt, volunteer, or donate, we welcome you to join our family and help us build a world where all animals are cherished and loved. Take the opportunity to adopt a pet or get involved today. So, you know, it's really a matter of which one do you like better. Let's go ahead and use the prompt that AI gave, and I am going to make sure that the original prompt that I just did, I save on a Google Doc. So I've already just pasted that original text just in case I want to ever come back here. I can repaste this if I find that the one that I went with isn't necessarily the one that I want to continue to move forward with. Okay, so after we add information about our site, we're going to go ahead and click next. And then here you're going to add some keywords. So this says keywords assist in the AI by identifying the most relevant topics to write about. So based on all of the information we just gave it in steps 2 and 3, it's already pre-populating some suggested keywords. So I would recommend we start here and just add the keywords from this list that are relevant to you. So animal adoption organization, yes. Rescue and rehabilitation, I'm gonna click it. Pet adoption, yes. Community outreach, yes. Education on pet ownership, spaying and neutering, volunteer opportunities, fundraising events, behavioral training, yes. I'm also gonna do like pet, we already have pet adoption in there. Let's do animal. You can also add your own keywords here too. So we'll add animal shelter. I think that's probably decent. Okay. So once we have your keywords in here, you can also choose your tone of voice. So it says the tone allows the AI to reflect your personality in its communication style. Select a tone that closely aligns with your own. So we can choose from neutral, professional, friendly, informative, engaging, trustworthy, conversational, persuasive, upbeat, funny, inspirational. For this, I want people to see us as probably friendly because pets are friendly, hopefully. And we're gonna select that and then just click the next button so that we can move on to step number 5. This is probably my favorite screen on the entire AI wizard, and that is because it helps you think through goals of your site as well. So I've previously, at the beginning of this video, shared what our goals are because I've already thought through that. But if you haven't and you're like, I'm not quite sure what my goals are, this page is really handy. So you want to select all of the goals that are going to apply to your site in particular. Do we want to sell products? At this stage, I don't want to, but it could be something that we add on in the future if you guys are really feeling this the series. But if you wanted to sell leashes or dog food or things like that on our store online, we could definitely add an e-commerce component. But again, we're going to skip that part for now. We do know that we want to display events. We've already identified that, so I'm going to select that. We want to sell tickets to events. I don't think that we're going to be doing tickets, although we could do fundraising tickets because most events are going to be free around the community. So I'm going to keep that unselected for now. And so I want to display my services. I do want to do that because we previously talked about a get involved could kind of translate to services. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that selected. I want to write blog posts. Yes. Display photography, probably not in a way of like displaying galleries. So I'm going to leave that off. And then it says I want to receive donations. Yes, we absolutely want to receive donations. I want to offer courses. Yes. I want to generate leads. Probably not. I don't want to offer a membership. I don't want to book appointments, and I don't want to promote my podcast. So I think we have our goals selected for this use case, but if you're just following along as the tutorial in this video, you can definitely select what's relevant to you. We're going to choose next as well, and then we are going to go to the image search. Now, you can use the AI search collection, or you can use your own collection here. So you don't have to use Pexels, which is the free stock photos that we use in order to pull all of these images in. But we can come in here and edit this search query, and it's going to pre-populate different features here. So the search query says animal adoption, organization, rescue cats and dogs, rehabilitation, rehoming. I'm going to take those words out because for images, that's probably hard to convey. Abandoned, neglected pets. I'm also going to remove that. We want to showcase the aspirational identity of a happy pet owner reuniting with their forever pet. So that's the message we want to share. So we don't really want to show neglected animals in this case. We want to show the aspirational identity that people are looking to connect with. So pets, community, safe haven, forever families, second chance, medical care, all of these are kind of like those keywords that we were just selecting previously, but I think those are good keywords we might want to use for the website copy, but not great for images. So I'm going to take this out. Let's do responsible pet ownership is a yes. I'm going to take off spaying and neutering. Pet care workshops could be fine. I'm going to take these words out too. The other thing that I really want to emphasize is I want to do smiling pet owner or happy dog mom. So again, we just want to make sure that it's like smiling people holding a dog, smiling people holding a cat. So like I can do happy man holding pet, something like that. And I'm going to click save here. And as I save, it's going to start repopulating different images. So in the featured images, and we have background images, we can come in here and click on edit collection. When we click this button though, I want you to know that all of these images are automatically importing to your media library. So just keep that in mind. So if you're finding, wait, these aren't necessarily the exact same things that we want, you can come in here and still keep finessing this. Let me look. I'm going to take out workshops. I'm going to do happy dog mom, happy man holding pet. Let's save this and see if that adjusts anything. It does a little bit, but not so much. I wonder if we just play around with this. Let's just do happy pets with owners and just hit save. If we do 1, what does it come back with? Okay, these look a little bit more lifestyle, whereas they look like they were like staged in a studio before. So I kind of like this. So again, the moral of this story is as you're changing the search query, you might want to just simplify it. Type in 1 keyword and see what pulls back or what results pull up. And I think that's going to help you. And maybe you just start with like 1 keyword phrase, see what that renders, maybe try a different one. You can start stacking them as well. But I actually think this is a great option. So I'm going to come in here and click on edit collection, and we can change things out. So like these, there are 3 or 4 shots of the same person. I probably want to pick my favorite. So I like this one. I like the one where they're climbing up in a lap, but let's just pick 1 here. So I'm gonna click on the X there. And you can also add to a collection. So if you click on add to collection, you can come up here and upload a file, or you can browse through your media library. I'm gonna go ahead and choose upload file. So I'm gonna hit select. I know I have this on my download. So dog and cat family. I'm gonna click on upload there, and boom, I've got that added. So I'm gonna click on add to collection, and now my own image is also added to this collection. So the beautiful thing about this tool is that you don't just have to use an AI tool. You can actually curate what AI is going to generate from like the website layout, pictures, and things like that using your own images too. So you can come over here and customize this with a combination of stock images plus your own. And you can go in here and then click update collection when you've got everything that you want. So we are all set here. I'm gonna leave these background images the same too, and I'm gonna click on generate our base content. So when we click this button, it's literally doing its magic to create website content and images based on the prompts it just gave it into a beautiful layout. Now, one thing I want to talk about when it comes to the AI tool, I think a lot of people have this expectation when working with AI that it's going to give you this perfect solution right out the gate. And that's just not going to be true. Sometimes it's going to depend on how well of a prompt you gave the tool. And other times it's just going to be considered a rough draft that it gets you online. So it may or may not spit out the perfect layout in the perfect order, or have the exact right design, but it's at least giving you a starting point, and then you can customize it from there. Okay, so now that our options have been generated, this is giving you previews of different starter templates that we can choose from. So I'm scrolling through here and I want to find a design that I like the best. I think I like the cherry template that we have here. This cherry template I think is great because it allows us to showcase different impacts. So if you want, you can click into it to examine it a little bit further, and you can actually see what the whole template looks like. So I definitely think this is an option we can go with. You can also change out the highlight color. So the highlight color is like what you're going to be doing for button colors, calls to action, things like that. So we can come in here and select one. Now there's a handful of pre-selected colors. So let's just say I want to go with orange, for instance. Don't like that. Let's try green, or maybe this bright blue. I definitely like the bright blue option a little bit better because we are wanting to connect with everyone in the community. So we want this to attract male, female, etc. So let's go ahead and go into the colors. You also can choose whether you want to have a light background or a dark background. So if you choose the dark background, anywhere there was a white background previously got swapped out. I personally like the lighter version for this particular brand because we want it to feel light and fun and bright and airy versus like deep and moody. You can also change out the background saturation. So right now we are at a background saturation of 1. If we choose 2, it's changing the tints and shades of your different colors. So this has got like a more creamy base. I actually think I like that, and more of like a blue-purple color. So let's go ahead and go with this option. I think that's a good vibe, and we'll click the next button. Then it's going to take us to the content. So once we're on the content, we can choose whether we want to import the home, about, causes, donate, or contact pages, and we can deselect certain pages from this list as well. So I think we want all of these pages, so there's nothing to deselect here. If you click on this little advanced settings toggle, you can import example products if you wanted to, events, theme settings, as well as footer widgets, or you can toggle any of these off. So you can feel free to customize this to your heart's content. I think this, the way it is perfect for us. So we're gonna go ahead and click the next button and move forward. Then it's going to ask us what plugins we want to install. One other reason I really like going with the AI starter template is because it does save me a few steps in having to go through and download and install all of these additional plugins. So it just saves me a few extra steps. So I want cadence blocks, absolutely. The events calendar, yes. Give WP is another one I do want to include because we do need that donations functionality. We also need event. I don't know that I want to do tickets, so I'm gonna leave that off for now. And then orderable, WooCommerce, email designer, no. Solid security, I'm also gonna need as well in the future, just because I want to keep my website really secure. So these are the 4 plugins I'm gonna go ahead and have it install during this process. And we're gonna click this finish and launch button. It says start import. This will override theme settings and add content to your current site. We are going to click the start import button. Now, one thing to note about that is you should only do this on a brand new WordPress install, or if you are working on a staging site. I would not encourage you to do this on a live site that's getting active traffic coming to your page, because if you want to undo all of those theme setting changes, you can't. There's not an undo button, so you want to proceed cautiously when you select that option. So this is going to take a few minutes to install all of the posts, because I did have it set up some example content for us as well in this generation process. So we're just gonna let it do its thing, and then we will take a look at the site when it's all done. Okay, once it's completed, it will say success, you are so much closer to launch, see my site or go to my pages. If you click on see my site, it's gonna take you to the front end of the website. If you click on go to my pages, it's gonna take you to the dashboard. So we're gonna click on see my site because I wanna see what this looks like in real time. So here we have the Happy Tails logo that's kind of just written there. We have where every animal deserves a second chance. Join us in rescuing, rehabilitating, and rehoming animals in need. So far, that's not bad. I would probably change this because our primary call to action isn't for the user to help us rescue and rehabilitate. It's really to adopt. So this is true about our organization, but it's not necessarily the best user experience. So I would probably come in here and tweak that a little bit, and we can actually tweak that with AI as well. And the adopt a pet today is a great call to action. We could add a secondary one that's like get involved as well if we wanted to add that. So that's something we might want to customize here in a little bit. Then it goes into metrics, art impact. This is a good looking section so far. I'm not 100% sure if I want to keep this or maybe move it down below, but that's something else we can look through later. And then we've got what our community says. So these seem to be some testimonials. Cool, so we can customize that a little bit later. And then dedicated to providing a safe haven for abandoned and neglected pets. Every animal deserves a second chance. So one thing is like this has already been used above. So we need to figure out, probably only using that. So we need to figure out where we're going to use that. And then down here, we also see welcome to Happy Tails Shelter. That is text I would never use or advise anyone use on a website. It's boring, it's blasé, it's not good. It doesn't help the user in any way, shape, or form. But it's okay that it just says welcome, welcome, because we would probably want to add our own bullet points here anyway. So again, a great starting point, even if it's not the perfect text right away. And then it says what our community says. Again, this is another testimonials. I feel like we might need a few more sections between the testimonials again, but that's something we can customize. Here is something that says accolades also. And then we have our team. That could be helpful if we have a team of veterinarians. Also, if we really want people to connect with pets, we might want to change this out to say like find your pet and then have our pets listed here instead. But that's a functionality that doesn't exist yet on this website. So we're going to actually need to go in and build that pet finder before we can go in and customize this homepage. So that is us getting Kadence AI on our site. Let's go in while we're talking about AI still. I'm going to click on this edit page option, and I want to show you how we can still use the AI tool in order to customize the text on the page as well. So I'm going to click on this X button. This just is a little welcome wizard that teaches you how to use certain parts of Gutenberg. This is the first time because I'm using a blank website that's prompting me with that again. Okay, so where every animal deserves a second chance. While I believe that's true, I think we want to talk about adopting an animal. So I'm going to go ahead and backspace this. And then I'm going to use this Kadence AI, and we need to click on this Activate AI button as well. So I know that we've already registered, but it's going to want you to connect it here also. So we're going to click that button, and I'm going to choose this little prompt. I will allow and continue that. And then we need to get started with Kadence AI. And then again, click that continue for free button, and that should get us connected also. So now it's gonna pop up this wizard, but we don't need that. And this is all done in a second tab. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit update on this, and then I will do a refresher really quickly. Okay, so now that the page has been refreshed, we are going to put our cursor back here, and then we're gonna click on that little AI tool. So it says ask Kadence to generate. So we need to figure out what we want to do. If we click on this little option, you can see that in the future, we can ask the AI tool as we start writing to improve our writing, fix spelling and grammar, make it shorter, make it longer, simplifying, changing tone. So for here, let's do create a headline for an animal shelter with a call to action to adopt a pet today. Let's try that and see what it does. It says, welcome to our animal shelter, adopt a furry friend today. Immediately no, we will not be using that. I want you to know that this is not quite as intuitive as a tool like ChatGPT or Bard or Gemini or whatever they're all called now. So when you are talking to a tool like ChatGPT, you might say, hey, generate 10 headline ideas for me. It will spit them all out, and then you can kind of like piecemeal things together. This AI tool is not that intuitive, in which case it's not like a prompting in a conversational tone. It's going to spit out a result, and if you don't like it, you need to change your prompt. It's going to spit out a result. If you don't like it, you need to change your prompt. So if you are wanting more support with copywriting and you're looking for an AI tool to generate 20 headline ideas, you'll need to do that in a separate tool. This is kind of a onesie twosie type of AI generation. So if you are absolutely not sure what you want to put on your homepage, then 100% you should go use a third-party tool. But I think if you kind of have a good gist of what you want, this should be sufficient. All right, so let's go back to our prompt and let's say, make a headline that encourages people to adopt their new best friend and include a benefit. Let's try that. I'm gonna hit enter. Find your forever friend today and experience unconditional love and companionship. Okay, that kind of works. That kind of works. Let's use this copy. Might be a little long, and we can actually click into this row layout here and change the width of this content so that it shows a little bit better. Find your forever friend. Let's take out the word today. What if we do adopt? Find your new forever friend. Let's actually pull this. I'm going to cut this and let's actually use that for the text down below. And let's paste this. So maybe we just say, don't miss out on experiencing unconditional love and companionship. Okay, so I know we've done a little bit of customization here with this text, and my intention is not to go through and customize this entire homepage right now. We will do that in the future, but the reason we can't do that now is because I actually need to build out that pet finder capability so that we can display the most recent pets that are available for adoption, or maybe showcasing some featured pets that maybe have been in the shelter a long time and really desperately need to be rehomed. So we kind of need to table this homepage customization job for another time, and let's go in and start building a custom post type using element hooks to build like a custom template, as well as the query loop builder for our archive with filters, I think let's go do that video next. So join me in the next video and we will get that all set up, and then we'll come and do this homepage customization later.